Hello and welcome. It is day 2 of the 5-day Paraliminal Challenge. I'm Pete Bissonette, and we're glad you're with us using the Paraliminals to get more from life, to live with great life, great fulfillment, happiness, great health, and abundance. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Dawn Krystal. She's a healer and a spiritual mentor. She's been leading healing programs for us here at Learning Strategy since 2017. As a matter of fact, series 14 of Sound Healing, Silent Clearing just began last week. So welcome, Dawn.
Aloha! Hi, Pete. How are you doing over
Hi.
here? I'm so
So
excited to be here.
yeah, so Dawn's in Maui. That's why we're doing the program a little bit later in the day, because she just got up a little bit ago. That's one of the beauties of the time change.
Oh yeah, I'm up early, but I usually spend a lot of time meditating as well, like everybody here probably does with the Paraliminals. So I'm just so excited to be here and really share my story and talk about other people's stories and just really grateful to be here. So I
Yeah,
want to thank you to everybody being here as well.
fantastic. Thanks, Dawn. So, hey, Dawn, Christy Whitman joined us yesterday, and she's a law of attraction coach, and she's also a healer. Now, you have a unique healing approach. You use sound, and that is the sound of your voice to help move energy in people, to clear away stagnant energy, and to bring in clear, vital energy to make it easier to achieve goals. So, Don, you can also see energy. So can you explain how listening to paraliminals can actually move away stagnant energy and raise a person's energetic vibration? After all, raising your vibration is really important for the law of attraction.
Absolutely. Well, we're working with the conscious, subconscious, and conscious mind, conscious, subconscious, and core patterns. And I found the paraliminals, I just want to mention one thing right now that's really important. I think other people can, if they haven't noticed it, I love Paul's voice. Okay. I find I'm very high vibe, but I just know that when I listen to his voice, it's so soothing. It's like, it makes me want to go deeper when I listen to his voice. Okay. Cause it's just, I imagine you have other people who have mentioned it, but I absolutely love his voice. And I think it's just very awesome. I find it just, he's a pioneer really in what
Yeah,
he
he,
does,
he,
you
he
know?
really is, especially in developing the
Oh my
photo
goodness.
paraliminal program. So I was
Yeah.
yesterday when we were talking with Christy Whitman, I told her how we first became acquainted, and that is you've been a longtime client of Learning Strategies, and I was reaching out and talking to clients about their experiences with the program. You and I got on the phone and we started talking, and then I asked you, what do you do? And that's when I found out about your gifts as a healer.
Absolutely. I have been following you for a long time, and you have so many wonderful um, people here who bring their gifts. Like I really enjoy every aspect of what Paul does as far as with the Paraliminals. But I've actually joined a lot of other things in the past. I love other programs such as the Qigong and stuff too. I find it just very. I think everything that you offer just goes hand in hand to really help somebody really expand themselves, raise their frequency, but change their whole life in every way, physically, mentally, energetically. So it's really, really powerful. And I'm just really amazed too that paraliminals, they were created over 40 years ago, right?
Yeah, 1988. So yeah, we're moving on
Well, I
40.
mean, that's before anything really. I really think you're like I mean, you guys like started it. I mean, started all here. Look at you're still here, and it's you're still going strong, and you're still helping millions of people all over the world. And
Yeah.
Paul, and it's just really great. I feel very honored to be part of your team and offer my way of also shifting consciousness. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. But I do move energy with my voice, as you were asking.
Yeah. So, you mentioned that we've been around for a long time, the Paraliminals have been around. And one of the reasons we have been around is that our programs, especially the Paraliminals, they're effective. They really do work.
Yeah.
And I got an email from somebody overnight who she was saying that she doesn't know if the Paraliminals are working because she's listened to them and nothing's happened. Well, for some people, the results happen instantaneously. They notice things around them right away. And other people, you got to use them on a regular basis, and then you start seeing the shifts that are happening. And it's when you do that then you stay with the paraliminals. And that's the reason we've been around, is because they do work. They help you with the shifts that you need to do when you have resistance or obstacles going on in your life. And then when you know what your intention is or what your goal is, they can help you with whatever it is that you need in order to get closer to your goal.
Absolutely. I have to agree. And I also know that people have different levels and layers of their sensitivity levels, because it also,
Yeah.
it actually is normal. I mean, depending on how sensitive you are, but it does work, even though you might not feel it right off the top. But it has you know, I always say it's always the levels and layers that it has to go through, you know, to make the changes, you know, and
Yeah,
everybody's
you're absolutely right. And you mentioned the sensitivity. It's also what all is going on in your life. So some people are just set, okay, I'm ready for the shift to happen, and it happens right away. Other people have a lot of stuff going on in their lives that they need to systematically move through. That's one of the beauties of the Paraliminals, because we have, over 60 titles, so we can help with any type of shift that you need to make.
Absolutely. It's amazing that Paul's voice, like I said, he's so soothing and wonderful, but when you listen to each one, it's like he's always consistent.
Yeah.
You know, it's consistency. I'm really amazed by that, you know?
In the early days,
right on, you know?
Yeah.
So,
In the early days, when we first started doing the Paraliminals, I was listening to him a whole lot, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'd be in the office and he'd beep my phone on the intercom and he'd say, "Hey, Pete," and I'd go, I'd zone out right away because I was so used to listening to his voice. So one of the questions, speaking of zoning out, that we get from new Paraliminal users is whether or not it's okay if you fall asleep during the session. And the answer is absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is at the beginning of the Paraliminal, most of the Paraliminals, Paul will ask you questions to help set your intention. And this is a way that you can customize a Paraliminal for your own use. And once you get your intention out there and you're answering the questions, then it's okay to kind of let go and allow your mind to go. You can follow along, or you can just go with the flow and the rhythm of the voices, which means you may fall asleep. And that's okay. That's also one of the benefits of Paraliminals over meditation, is because when you meditate, you want to stay awake and you want to stay aware, but with Paraliminals, you're free to drift off. So Don, when you're doing one of your healing sessions, is it okay for somebody you're working with to fall asleep? Or is it something that they need to be able to stay awake in order to raise their frequency?
No, I actually, I understand what you're saying about it's okay, because we've, like with my work, this is, different, but we're setting the intention before we have our goals. We've written them down, or like you said, with Paul,
Exactly.
with Paraliminals, you already have the title. So you already know what you're working on. So it's actually, I really feel that not being so much conscious and being in the mind, trying to conduct and trying to figure out everything is, it still works. Okay. It's just, I feel that zoning out sometimes is good, because it gets beyond that mind of ours that tries to figure out everything, which this is working beyond the mind in some ways, even though it's working in the mind and, the subconscious and all that, So I find it with my work too, it's the same thing. As long as you set the intention, even with Paul's Paraliminals, it's the same thing. We already have it down what we're working on. So it's really miraculous the way it works,
And today is day 2 of the Paraliminals, or the Paraliminal Challenge, and heard some people, as always, that they find the Paraliminals a little weird with the multiple voices, but they also say they love them. They also say they work, and they're also really soothing. So one of the reasons that they're effective is, like what you're saying, is that they're able to work with the non-conscious mind. That's because of the brilliance of Paul Shilley. So he's Friday's guest host too, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so he'll be with us on Friday.
Okay, cool.
Tomorrow is Mary Ellen Tribby from Centerpoint.
Wonderful.
On Thursday, Jack Canfield. And Friday, Paul is with us.
I can't wait.
Yeah. And so Paul, with his expertise in neurolinguistic programming, accelerated learning, preconscious processing, he knows how to talk with your inner mind, and he knows how to get your inner mind to respond differently to what's going on in life. So that's the reason the Paraliminals work so well. So Don, do you remember when you first heard your first Paraliminal? What was that like for you?
It is different, but I like, and I'm different too. I think that it's Paul. I mean, it's the way he brings it. It's not going to be like everybody else. It's his own unique style. I found that it's you're hearing one set of I can't always imagine what it's saying, because it's just so much going on, and then it's a little different here. I do see that balance. You know, what I mean, even though I can't figure it out, but I just really appreciate that there's nobody else out there doing this. You know,
Yeah.
this is effective, and it's his own excuse me, unique way of bringing it to the world, which has been around 40 years. And this is just the way it works, you know, and I totally get that, you know.
And you
And
said
it's
something that's
really
really key
powerful,
too.
actually, huh?
You said
Huh?
something really key because you were saying that you can't understand what he's saying. That's
Right.
one of the beauties behind the paraliminals is that your conscious mind can't follow along. So it tends to zone out, which is good because
Great.
then the
Yeah.
messages can get into your inner mind and not be sabotaged by that little voice in the back of your head saying, this can't possibly work. What is he saying here? That can't work for me. But when you are able to zone out because of the multiple voices, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. And I totally get that. Like I said, I kind of understand it just what I do. And it's, you know, it's just very, very, it's very powerful. And I do find that, you know, zoning out and staying out of the conscious mind is actually the fastest way to change. But, you know, like I said, I just don't want people to get discouraged, even if they, you know, they're new to paraliminals and their mind is chatty. It still works. You know, that's
Yeah.
the thing. The technology, it's technology. It's with Paul's voice. It's all combined. And I think it's just very powerful. I haven't seen anything like it out there. That's probably why you're still here 40 plus years.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah,
it,
yeah.
because it worked.
Yeah. So this week is a Paraliminal Challenge, which means anybody in the world can use the Paraliminals free of charge to make progress in achieving the goals and to use this technology. Now, what you want to be able to do, the most important thing is you start by identifying what your challenge is. You know, what is your goal? Maybe you have something you want to get rid of. It might be illness or anxiety or dread or excess weight, fatigue, or what have you. Or maybe there's something that you want to achieve. Maybe you want to take on a project at work, or maybe you want to boost your business or improve your memory, play guitar, eat better, give a speech. There's so many different things that you can do that you can use the paraliminals for. The key is to hone in on one and then allow the paraliminals you choose to give you the support that you need. And then as you're using the paraliminals, tell us about your experience. So in your reminder email today, and also you can do this live session. You're either going to be watching right now on the MindTracks app or you're on an online page. And if you're on the online page, there is a link there where you can tell us about your experiences, and you can go into the Learning Strategies Facebook page or into a special online form. Tell us what's happening. What are you noticing? What do you notice as you're listening? What do you notice in the hours and the day after you've listened to a paraliminal? Share your experiences, and you might win a $100 gift certificate. As a matter of fact, in a moment, we'll be, Don, you're going to actually announce today's winner.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
we read all the countless of comments and stories that came from people overnight. We're going to share a few of them for you now. And what I like about them is they really showcase the so many different ways that you can find and use the paraliminals, and they're really inspiring when you listen to what folks are saying. So Don, why don't we get started? You want to start with the first ones?
Sure. So let me bring that up here. Okay, so we're going to start with Mary. So Mary wrote, "My main goal is to release blocks that have been preventing growth in all areas of my life." And it says, the first one I listened to today was abundant money mindset. I listened to remove the blocks, and I've had since I was a young child, she says. This experience was awesome, she says. I can see the program actually working. My goal attained, and my next level is on autopilot, which is awesome. So that's what Mary wrote. Just listening to the abundance money mindset. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. I can read a few more if you want.
Sure.
Okay, Shaylin wrote, I have been feeling disconnected with my spirit lately. And so my goal is to ground myself and reconnect with myself. I use deep relaxation to start this week to quiet my monkey mind and to help myself relax and get good rest. So I can start rebalancing myself, she says. I had a great night's sleep, she said, and woke up refreshed and ready for my day. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that almost any paraliminal can help with the monkey mind, because as you're relaxing and as you're letting it go, your monkey mind tends to go away too. And that's a great benefit of doing the paraliminals.
Yeah.
Now, Steve from Ottawa, Canada wrote, my main goal for listening, oh, by the way, Steve, I'm going to be in Ottawa this summer, so maybe I'll run into you. So my main goal for listening this week is to gain insight into my next career move. I feel very deeply that it's time for me to do something, move into something new, but I lack direction and unsure of what to do next. I listened to the Wealth Motivator Paraliminal and came out of it feeling confident and motivated to make a change. I'm planning on listening to Finding Yourself next. And then, Steve, another paraliminal that would be really good for that is the Prosperity Paraliminal, because that one can help you figure out what it is that you want, because prosperity is really abundance in all areas of your life, including in your career. And it can help get your other than conscious mind focused in on bringing the new career to you. And Eric wrote, my sleep was disrupted last night, so I thought I'd try one of the paraliminals to see if it would help. The 10-minute supercharger did the trick. I experienced a quick energy boost and it allowed me to keep going. It doesn't replace a full night's sleep, but works great to help me go through the day. And that's actually a good paraliminal to use during the day when you do need to have a boost. But even if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're having a hard time going back to sleep, listen to the 10-minute supercharger. Now, it's not going to energize you in the sense that you're going to be all full of this energy, but rather what it's going to do is going to relax you, it's going to calm your mind, it's going to drain and balance the energy. So instead of it being chaotic or keeping you up, it's going to help you fall asleep. So try that one. Harold wrote, around noon, another one about 10-minute supercharger. Harold wrote, around noon, I was tired. I was going to lie down for a while. Instead, I listened to the 10-minute supercharger. When I finished, I felt good and went on with my day. Hours later, when I knocked off for the day, I realized the time just flew by. I wasn't tired at all. And that's one of the cool things. Before you go to bed, always think about your day and about which paraliminals you used, and see if you can figure out what the connection is for what happened with the rest of your day. Like with Harold, he was tired, he listened to it, and later at the end of the days, he realized, oh my goodness, I wasn't tired after that. I was able to get through the day and it moved quickly.
Wonderful.
So Don, do you want to take a couple?
Yeah, Tam, I just want to have a couple more here. So I have Tammy from Virginia shared, I hope to dissolve my resistance to change and unblock my creative flow. And she says, I realize that core belief that I've been dragging into my present from the past. And I am hopefully going to approach things with more insight now. Now instead, she says, I listened to the belief and enjoyed it very much. My plan is to tackle natural brilliance next. And she says, thank you very much. That's very powerful.
Yeah, another parallel that would be good for you would be the creativity supercharger. So try that after the natural brilliance.
Wonderful. And I do have another one here too, Pete. Darren shared, I am listening so I can align to my higher self. I enjoy listening to it and I felt better immediately. As I choose self-actualization, I plan to use it all week, and my goal of aligning to my higher self of great importance is to me. And I'm just like, wow, that's pretty awesome, you know?
Yeah. And it is completely all right to listen to a paraliminal every day during the challenge, the same one. If you want to do a second or third paraliminal during the day, then choose something else. But if there's something like this self-actualization that you get the sense that you want to do it every day, by all means do it. Now I'll read a couple, Don.
Okay,
Jean wrote, my intention this week is to permanently drop a long-held habit that has not been healthy for me, and it has been very difficult to walk away from. I've walked away many times, but I always walk back. Don't we know that? Mm-hmm. This week, I'd like to employ the power of the paraliminals to really release it. Waking up to letting go this morning with Harold Dwoskin was a great way for me to start the challenge. Any other suggestions for addressing the addictions or habits? They're welcome. So a couple other paraliminals are really good for addictions and habits. The new option generator, break the habit, new behavior generator, and the new history generator. So new option generator, break the habit, new behavior generator, and new history generator. And you know when you're using the paraliminals, if you're in the app and you go to that page where you're going to push the play button, you'll see different bubbles down below that say what to do before listening or inside secrets and benefits. Scan through the information there because that will give you ideas for how to use that particular paraliminal for the addiction and for breaking the habits. Richard shared, sometimes I feel awkward and almost guilty that I earn more than my friends. I remember using You Deserve It about a month ago. That guilt completely disappeared. I still buy the wine when we go out for dinner, but not out of the sense of obligation, but because I want to. Cool. Natalie wrote, my intention for this challenge is, of course, to listen every day, but to powerfully make my way through a marketing course I bought for my piano business confidently. I can use the paraliminals to help me with this way of being. Don, want to take a few?
Yeah, I have one right here from Karen. And Karen wrote, my main goal is to be more creative and motivated, less depressed, and have a positive attitude about money. So that's a really good one that she wrote, Karen. And also have one also from Marlene. She wrote, my main goal is listening this week is the first is the first to succeed in bringing greater abundance into my life. And second is to gain strength and peace of mind to make the most sound decisions in dealing with extremely hostile neighbor situation. So that's good too. So that's her outlook for what she wants. And then I do have another one here too after her. It's Danya, I think, wrote, to get around it, it's called to get around it, it's paraliminal. It's helped me to get more done. So that's really good to get so it's called the get around. Is that true? Is that what it's called, Pete?
Yeah, get around to it.
Okay, that's awesome. And it says get more done. And when I listen to it, I find myself effortlessly taking more action. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and to get around to it is one of the paraliminals that have 2 sessions. And session A is when you just want to get more done just for procrastination in general. And it's really good about aligning with your goals and getting you clear on that. Yeah, these are goals that I have and I really want them in my life. Then all of a sudden you find yourself doing whatever it is that you've been putting off. Session B is if you have a specific situation. So it's tax time now. If you've been putting off your taxes, listen to session B of Get Around to It, and guess what? You'll get your taxes done. So Lavina from South Africa wrote, I chose Living the Law of Attraction. My goal for listening is to keep listening to build the habit of more listening. For my next one, I'm going to stick to a loosely related item. I shall do The Soul of Money with Lynn Twist. And one of the things that Lavina wrote, she wrote a really long message, was that she really likes listening to Paul's voice and with Paul and Jack in the Living Law of Attraction. It's just like what you were saying before, Don, is that the voices are really soothing and they can really help with the process. And we have Anna, also from South Africa. She wrote, my primary objective is to create a sense of calm for myself and reignite my focus. The work environment can be quite busy and stressful, and I have been neglecting my need to find balance and peace. Paraliminals help. Yesterday, after finishing work, I took some time to lay in bed and listen to Recover and Re-Energize. I ended up dozing off and waking up about 30 minutes later. A lot of people have done that, feeling much more refreshed and rejuvenated. Going to work, I plan to listen to this paraliminal before leaving work, while also listening to Sleep Deeply, Wake Refreshed before sleeping. Additionally, I want to listen to the Financial Security Paraliminal while working to stay focused and motivated. That's one of the things that a lot of people have said is that when they take a break during work, either for lunch or a regular break, they'll listen to a paraliminal that helps them with getting their work done. And so the Financial Security is a good one that you can listen to during the day. Don, would you like to take a couple?
Okay, sure. And let's see here. We got Kim wrote, my goals and intentions for the next 5 days are to release my stress and anxiety and create a new prosperity belief mindset instead. So that's pretty cool. I like Kim's outlook and what she's wanting. And Brenda also wrote, I'm starting the perfect health and ideal weight as my health is in an area I am focusing on to improve. So that's really cool. And let's see, we got, I want to make sure I have the right one here. Okay, yeah, we got one more. And Chris from Hong Kong wrote, anxiety and sleep. These 2 issues are mutually reinforcing in both positive and negative ways. I'm listening to the paraliminals associated with these 2 issues. So that's pretty cool. And I have another one. think I'm reading this correctly. Kaylin from Texas wrote, my main goal this week is to change my money mindset and listen to the Abundant Money Mindset Paraliminal. So I hope I have the right one there. I didn't repeat anything.
Yep. No, that's good.
Okay,
And
cool.
then Melaine from London wrote, and this one's interesting. My main goal is dissolving the resistance I'm experiencing to an upcoming change in my living circumstances. I've resided at my current home for over 30 years. I raised my son, cared for my mom for the last 14 years of her life in this home. But now I want to move on, and the process of decluttering and sorting and packing 30 years of accumulated possessions is proving difficult. I listen to letting go. I found it very calming, and I feel more acceptance for the negative emotions this process is bringing up for me. I am committed to doing the 5-day challenge one day at a time, which is beautiful. And this kind of shows so many of the different ways or reasons that people are using the paraliminals, because whatever's going on in your life, you can use the paraliminals to help it make it a little easier for you. And another one, Marlene, is that the simplicity paraliminal is really good when you're going through a decluttering process. Brandon wrote, I used a paraliminal of the day, which was letting go. I used it for a situation involving a colleague at work. It completely changed everything for me. It was like a dark cloud was lifted. I felt lighter. Amazing. And KDB wrote, my intentions are to gain a renewed sense of excitement with creating content. Number 2, complete a draft content for the website. And number 3, to send content to the developer. So you can see here, you can get really specific for what you want to be accomplishing, and the paraliminals can be helping you. Don, why don't you take, we got 3 more. Why don't you take the last 3?
Yeah, sure. I got a couple more here. So Lisa from France wrote, recover and re-energize, chosen, as I am doing rehab after an injury, and it was very soothing. So that's really cool. And then we got Leslie wrote, there's another person here. I have an operation, to prepare for and need to cut out the indulgences. I'm listening to the ideal weight and perfect health, but adding in others to support my goal. I choose intuition, the intuition amplifier, to help me notice some good insights into what my body really needs. So that's really cool. And then we also have one more after that, Pete, from Olga wrote, my intention for this paraliminal challenge is to break free from self-sabotage and overthinking and lack of self-trust, so I can be more clear in how I can become a better version of myself and contribute to a better world. And she says, I'm excited to try, and thank you. Very awesome.
Yeah. So I love reading these messages. First thing I do when I get up every morning during the challenges, I get to open up the Facebook page and open up the online forum to read everything. And we really appreciate that you're taking the time to share the messages and the feedback. And remember, so all you need to do is think of your goal or what your challenge is, and then scan through the list of paraliminals, select the ones that interest you. Don't overthink it. Just follow your intuition, and anyone can help you with your challenge. Just tap or click and it'll begin playing. And then tell us what you think about your experiences. Like I said before, notice how your day changes. Notice serendipities that appear. And comment on your experiences in the Learning Strategies Facebook page or on that forum. And by the way, we turned off the restrictions commenting on Facebook. It turns out they were accidentally turned on. Now it makes it easier for you to leave messages on Facebook. So if you were a little bit put off by that before, go back there. And the links are in the reminder email, and also on the web page if you're listening online. And use the link so that you can easily share the gains, and then maybe tomorrow we will randomly select your name as the winner. So we just had a drawing before we went live today, Don. And would you kindly announce the winner, the $100 gift certificate?
Okay, drum roll here. Okay, you ready, everybody? Today's winner of the $100 gift certificate is, ready? Kaylin Levine. Aloha! Right?
Yeah, Kaylin was one of the stories you read earlier, too.
Oh, wonderful.
So congratulations, Kaylin Levine. If that's you, send an email to customerservice@learningstrategies.com and we'll get you set up. It's customerservice@learningstrategies.com. And remember, if you've been enjoying the paraliminals and if you have not had the opportunity to get the Ultimate U Library Paraliminals, upgrade today. Use the links in the reminder email or on the web page, and you can get all the Paraliminals however you'd like. You can get them on CDs. We'll ship them to your home, or as MP3s, and you can download them to your computer or use online when you're connected to the internet. Or you can have them permanently in the MindTracks app. It's your choice. We're doing everything we can to make it easy for you to be able to have the Paraliminals. Because remember, the Paraliminal Challenge ends Saturday at 10 o'clock Central Time. If you want to continue using them, please upgrade today and use the links in the reminder email. That way you're going to receive a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means if you change your mind, you can get a refund. But you already know you're going to be happy because you've been enjoying the Paraliminals all the last couple of days. So you're going to love them going forward too. So Don, we're coming to the end of our time together.
Oh, wow, time flies.
Yeah, it really does. Do you have any parting words for our folks at home?
Well, I just know consistency is the key. You know, even if we get busy, one thing I like about Paraliminals, I just want to say quickly, is just that they're not that long. You know, I'm all about short myself, and I totally love that it is. So it's just consistency. Stay on it. You know, even if you don't feel it right away, give it some time. You know, we're all unique divine beings or just people. If you're just, you know, and the whole thing is just the consistency. Stay on top of it. Keep doing it every day, and that's what really shifts. You know, just give it some time to clear whatever is in the way of that happening. And it's really simple, really.
Exactly. And again, don't overthink it. Just choose the Paraliminal and float into it and notice what happens in your life. So after the challenge, Don, we're going to send everybody an email out for how they can connect with you and how they can explore your sound healing, silent clearing program that we just started, like I mentioned last week. So this is week 2 for it. I personally love the sessions. You know, since we've started doing them in 2017, I've hardly missed any. And the only time I missed them is when I've been traveling. So now
you're always on them, and still time to join too.
Yeah, it really is. So now Paraliminals, top of mind, use them to get rid of blocks and achieve your goals. So what Paraliminal you're going to listen to next? Again, any of the Paraliminals can help you achieve your goals. They're all in the app or they're all on the page for you. And today's Paraliminal of the day is one of my favorite, self-love. And I'll be listening to that one a little bit later. So join that one too. That is just a beautiful one that will help you with any goal, because the more love you have for yourself, the easier it's going to be to achieve whatever you want or to move away from resistance. Then come back tomorrow for our guest host, Mary Ellen Tribby. Now, Mary Ellen, she's a brilliant lady, and she's the CEO of Centerpoint Research Institute. And that's the company that developed the HoloSync audio tones that are embedded on each of the Paraliminals. So you know the HoloSync is on them. You might hear a little hum in the background. She will help explain how and why they work and how they kind of give the Paraliminals a boost. So Don, thank you so much for being here, for taking your time. And I know you're in Maui and it's a beautiful place. I was just there and we met and had some fun a couple of weeks ago. And it's just gorgeous. I'm sure you're going to be out to the beach sometime today if you haven't been already.
Well, I try to make it there once a day, at least at night by the sunset, for sure. Yeah. It's one of my blessings here, and I do take advantage of it. So thank you, Pete. I was so glad to meet you and everybody. So so wonderful to finally meet you after all this time, really. Yeah, so we've been working together for years, and we never met in person, but, you know, Zoom and telephone calls and after all those sessions. But like I said earlier, the reason we started working with you, Don, was because we met when I was calling and talking with clients about our programs, and then you were telling me what you did, and you offered to do a sample reading for me, a sample session. Mm-hmm. So we got together, I think later that night or one evening, and you did a healing on me, and it was so profound. I could feel like the fog was lifting. And I had told you just before the session, you had asked if I felt I had some brain fog or, you know, things weren't clear. And I said, no, I am very, very clear. But then you worked to me and it lifted and go, holy smokes. So that led into a nice relationship. It was nice to finally meet. It was by phone. I didn't see you in person. So this was a phone
session. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And so have a wonderful day, everybody. Get to listen to your Paraliminals, like do the self-love one. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you again tomorrow with Mary Ellen Tribby. Bye-bye. Thanks again, Don.
Aloha.